Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. I got a letter, and this one's about money. The other day, it's actually a comment that I got from a guy that said that living off of $500 a month is a fantasy. And for quite some time, I've been saying that living off of $500 a month is basically you're living off of peanuts. $1,000 a month, you can be fairly comfortable, but it's still peanuts. You're living a minimalist lifestyle, or in the case of $500 a month, you're just living, you're existing. That's about all you're doing. And as you'll see, $500 a month doesn't leave a lot left over. And I stand by this statement. But there are some circumstances where a $500 a month budget is feasible. Now, the first thing I would say is that anytime you bring up, oh, you can live off of $300, you can live off of $500, you can live off of $700. Anytime you bring this up, people will bring up the, well, Thai people do it argument. And when you think about it, yeah, okay, there may be a point to that. However, Thais know the ropes better than the vast majority of foreigners. It's their country, it's their culture, it's their system. A lot of times, foreigners will let their Thai wives handle some of their business affairs. I mean, shopping for things like food at a market, or clothing, or whatever it might be. You know, you want to go out and get yourself a new. Maybe you're walking around, and if a Thai guy sees you, he's going to charge you 250 baht for something. But if the woman walks up, maybe he doesn't see her with you. The Thai woman walks up and boom, she gets it for 180 baht because he doesn't want to rip her off. Now, maybe you would have said, oh, 200. Oh, okay. Well, you're still paying more. They know the prices, and this translates into savings. The other thing is that many young Thais, and even some older Thais, they live with their family. If this is, say, your first 6 months or a year living in the country, you're not married, you don't really have anybody to rely on here, you're going to be at a disadvantage to those Thais who are like living with their family or with their friends or with a girlfriend or spouse. And also, the Thais don't have to worry about whether or not they can live in a country legally. They don't have to worry about which visa is best for them. They don't have to factor in, oh, well, I'm going to have to pay for this visa or that visa. It may not amount to all that much, but they have it a lot easier here because they can work whatever job they want to, and foreigners can't do so here. So I think that argument, while there are some, there is some logic behind it, I also think that this is Thailand, this is their country, and until you've been living here for quite a few years, or at least maybe you're a fast learner, until you really pick it up and you've been here for a while, you're at a disadvantage. They also have cheap government medical care at their disposal, and this is another advantage, although, some people may have their own insurance, and they may not have to worry about that, some foreigners. But I was checking out to see what the average monthly wage of the Thai is now. And I remember the days when it was 5,000 or 6,000 baht. A lot of people think that now, and that's just not the case. According to TradeEconomics.com, the average monthly wage in the second quarter of 2017 is 13,619 baht and 97 satang. This figure is the world's 21st lowest wage. However, the forecast for the third quarter is projected to be 13,731.90 satang. So that's about 112 baht more this next quarter. Minimum wage is 305 baht. That's per day. That's up from 300 baht in 2016. Now, I do know my fair share of Thais who earn quite a bit more than this. Now, maybe that's because I'm getting older, and as we get older, we tend to earn a little bit more. I don't know. I know that I talk to taxi drivers and they're like, "Oh, I'm lucky if I make 15 or 20,000 baht a month." I talk to people that own their own food stalls, and some of them are making 20, 30, even 40 or 50,000 baht a month. So it's a bit of a fallacy that Thais are all living off of, say, 300 to say 10,000 baht a month. They're poor. No matter how you slice it, they're poor. They're living off of very little. I mean, that's the way it goes. 10,000 baht, or say $300, is $300 across the board. It's only $300. You're never going to buy a car with that $300. Okay? So let me get into a breakdown of what a $500 a month budget is going to provide. I set the rent at 3,500 baht. That's a cheap studio apartment. Okay, you can find cheaper, you can find more expensive. I know that there are still places out there that are 1,000 baht, 1,500 baht a month. It's a tiny room with no bathroom. But for 3,500 baht, you can get a place that's decent. It's usually just a studio. That's it, but there's a bathroom in it in most cases. So I'm going to say 3,500 baht. For food, I'm saying 7,500 baht. That's 250 baht a day. Utilities, 1,000 baht. Now, utilities, that could be just electricity. It could be electricity, water, and no gas, but electricity, water, and anything else, 1,000 baht. Now, that might be a little high in some places, but I think it's a fair estimate. Mobile phone, 500 baht. Transportation is, I set at 1,000 baht. 1,000 baht is not very much for transportation. It depends on how far you have to go every day and how far you're traveling. But it's not all that much. For me, it's not that much, really. Yeah, we take a taxi, sometimes it's 300 baht to where some of the places that we go. Now, we live a little bit out from, say, the center of Bangkok, but not that far. And when I pay 300 baht for a taxi fare, usually I'm going from one end of the city to the complete other side. But 1,000 baht is just not that much. So, but you could there are people that they live off of that much, so that's why I'm saying that. Spending 1,000 baht. That's it. 1,000 baht. That's 250 baht a week. That's enough for like a single person to go to a movie once a week. That doesn't include popcorn. Savings 2,000 baht. So that's 16,500 baht. So let me review this real quick. Rent 3,500 baht. Food 7,500 baht. Utilities 1,000 baht. Mobile phone 500 baht. Transportation 1,000 baht. Let's see here. Spending 1,000 baht. Savings 2,000 baht. 16,500 baht. Now this is a minimal budget for a disciplined expat. You got to be disciplined to pull this off. Now notice that there's no mention of visa fees, expenses related to traveling abroad to renew a visa if you don't have a long-term visa, medical care, dental care, funds to buy a ticket back home, and emergency funds. Now, like I said, I would not want to live off this, especially long-term. So it's something to think about. But saving some money every month. I mean, it's 16,500 baht a month. If you can pull off saving 2,000 baht a month, that's a step in the right direction. I mean, really, at the end of the year, if you haven't had any major catastrophes where you've had to shell out a bunch of dough, that's 24,000 baht. It's still not a huge amount, but it's something. And what is important to note is that the value that you'll get, no matter how much you're living off of, the value you'll get in Thailand is quite good. Thailand is no longer cheap. I always say this, it's not cheap, but it's cheaper in many ways than, say, America. 35 years ago, I lived in Alamogordo, New Mexico. I shared a 3-bedroom house with 2 other guys. The total rent for the house was $175 a month, okay? And we loved that. We thought that was so cheap. We had a nice little house. It wasn't all that big. The bedrooms were not very big at all. The whole house was not very big, but it had a nice backyard, a small front yard, and a nice backyard. And it was $175 a month. And today, we live in a 3-bedroom townhouse, and the rent's 7,000 baht a month, that works out to about $210. That means 35 years later in Bangkok, the rent is only 20% higher than what I was paying at that. Now, you can't really compare them equally, but it gives you an idea. Basically, the rent now, you can find rent now that's the same as, say, 35 years ago in the United States. So it's something to think about. It's just one example, but the point is that Thailand is still a very good value. Now, the Thais that are living with their families, and, across the street we have somebody that it's the daughter of a man and a woman. The woman sells Quitio. The man, I don't know what he does, but the daughter is married to a guy, and they have one small daughter, and they live in the townhouse. It's a double townhouse, but they live in the place with the mother and father. From what I've been told, from what I know, they're using it as a cheap place to live while they sock away their money so that they can pay cash for a house, which is nice. It's smart. Not everybody has that option. But this is something that I think a lot of American families, they don't tend to do nearly as much as Thais, which is they may live at their parents' house for many, many years. They may be older. You may have a divorced woman living with her mother or mother and father. Maybe a guy's living with his family because his wife has passed away or whatever. Or he's just living with his father or just living with his mother. But if they're living on their own off of, say, 15 or 16,500 baht a month, they're not wealthy. It is what it is. $500 is $500, but at least they have the Thai medical system to fall back on. When foreigners come over here, and they're living alone off of this much money, until they find a partner, or if they do find a partner, if they ever do, which might take a while, no matter how you slice it, the Thais have an advantage here. That's just the way that it goes. Okay, so how can you be comfortable off of $500 a month? I've already shown it is possible. We know that. Thais do it all the time. Okay, great. They do it. They're a little better off than the average foreigner who comes over here in that it's their country. But what's going to make it possible to live off $500 a month and for people to be happy and to be content? And I've come up with a couple of things, okay? And basically it boils down to money or having a job where money is coming in, okay? You need to have a long-term visa, whether it's an elite visa, a B visa, an O visa, OA visa, whatever it might be. You need to have a long-term visa. That's going to save you from having to go out of the country every month and have to pay for those expenses associated with going outside of the country. To qualify for a marriage visa means having 400,000 baht in the bank or a monthly income of 40,000 baht. To qualify for a retirement visa means having 800K in the bank or showing income of 65,000 baht a month. Now, if you can meet those requirements and you have a long-term visa, you have some sort of medical insurance. I have VA insurance and our family has insurance. So, barring any immediate acute issues that life or death issues with me. If I really needed to, I could go fly back to the United States and be taken care of. I have that going for me. Some people, their government pays for insurance, they'll reimburse them or whatever. So the medical insurance is important. So you got to have a long-term visa, you need to have medical insurance, and you need to have some kind of emergency funds set up. I think this is necessary to learn from a young age. Everyone needs to have some money set aside for a rainy day, or to draw from in times of need. It could only be, say, $1,000. Could be $2,500. It might be $250,000, depending on the individual's circumstances. If you're young and you've only lived in Thailand for a short term and you have a supportive family, you could probably just put everything in a couple of bags, and as long as you got a ticket, you could fly home. So you might already have the ticket. You might not need any money. Not very smart, but okay, let's say you got $1,000. You buy a ticket, it's $800. You got $200. You're all right. You can just fly back home, but not everybody has that option. And if you have something like a motorcycle accident, this happens all the time. You have a motorcycle in, say, Koh Samui or Phuket or wherever, and you're hospitalized for a couple of months and you need major surgery, you better have insurance, or you better have a nice chunk of change stashed away. You better have, say, 25 grand, 50 grand stashed away. And somebody like me who's 54, assuming that an expat has, say, $250,000 in the bank, they already have a retirement visa, and let's say that they live in a condo or someplace that's already paid for, they don't have to pay any rent, and they have medical insurance, okay? They can live decently off of $500 a month. They don't have as much to worry about because they have the safety net. Now, I also have a budget for people who have a little bit more money and they're willing to spend it. Now, I still think it's important to have medical insurance, to have a chunk of money in the bank, and also to have a long-term visa, because it just saves you headaches and time and money. But let me give you the breakdown on this. And of course, this is not factoring in everything, but I try to hit all the right spots here. Rent, 10,000 baht. Now, you may own the place, whatever. Okay, great. Well, then you can put that towards something else. Food, 10,000 baht. That's 333.33 baht per day. You can eat pretty well off of that, especially if you know the scene. I mean, I could go across the street and have a quid tio for 40 baht. Most of the time, I don't do that, though. I have a bowl of cereal. I have some, muesli or cornflakes. I throw some fruit in it, some frozen fruit. Boom, breakfast. Now, I don't know how much it breaks down to, but that's what I do, okay? Anyway, food, 10,000 baht. Utilities, 1,500 baht. Mobile phone. I'm having a problem saying mobile phone. Mobile phone, 1,200 baht. Transportation, 3,000 baht. Miscellaneous, 4,000 baht. That means you got 1,000 baht a week left over in case you need to do something. Oh, I got to go out and buy a T-shirt for some reason. They need me to buy a T-shirt at the job or whatever it might be, because we're going to an event. You got a little bit of a buffer there. It's for laundry. It's for whatever. Maybe your case broke on your phone and you need a new case and you really want to get the good case, so you pay 2,500 baht for it. Well, you got miscellaneous, that category, 4,000 baht. Spending, 10,000 baht. Now, that might sound like a fair amount. To me, when you think about it, 10,000 baht, man, that can go quick if you're in the bars. I mean, forget about it. Especially if you're in some kind of place like a G Club. If you're in a G Club, 10,000 baht is, that's not enough. Sometimes you need 50,000, 100,000. But if you've got if you're living off a low budget, you're probably not going to be in one of those clubs unless somebody's bringing you in there. But even let's say that you go out and you're going bar hopping and you go to some go-go bar, all right? 10,000 baht doesn't go very far. because, you know, it's like, oh, buy her a drink. Oh, can my friend have a drink? Yeah, yeah. The next thing you know, you got 4 or 5 girls sitting around, and you're all drinking. Boom, 10,000 bucks gone. So it's not a whole lot, but you know what? If you're smart, if you don't do those kind of things, or if you do it in moderation, it's 2,500 baht a week. It's not a huge amount. You can go out and buy a nice shirt maybe once a week. You can go to the movies, out to a nice dinner. I mean, you know, it's enough to have a nice lifestyle if you are disciplined and you do things in moderation. And I still have savings in here. I have 7,000 baht. Now, that totals, and you can use that savings for whatever. I mean, that can go to whatever to having more in savings for an emergency, or it could be to put money aside for, say, something like a trip somewhere. Depends on how much you got stashed away, you know. Depends on how flush you are. Now, that totals 46,700 baht, which works out to $1,415. I always say $1,500 is for a comfortable lifestyle, a very comfortable lifestyle. Not extreme. You know, I mean, I don't know how to break this down because $500 is dirt cheap. You're living off of next to nothing. $1,000, you can live and you'll be comfortable and you don't have to do without all the time. You can still go out and go around town and you can be active. You can live a little. That's 1,000. 1,500, you can go and do quite a few things. You just watch your money and you can have a lot of fun. My buddy, he makes 70 grand a month. He gives half of his money to his ex-wife. Willingly, he wants to. And the other half is what he lives off of, and he lives fine. Now, he walks to work. He lives in a one-room apartment, which it's a nice apartment. It's a little small, but it's nice. And he doesn't really go partying all that much or anything like that, but that allows him to save some money. He comes home every night. He's got a drink. Boom, he has one drink before, you know, he turns on the TV, watches some TV after work, hangs out, does what he wants on the weekends. Maybe he goes out once or twice, and he's got money. And that's only really 35,000. So for, say, 50,000, $1,500 a month, you can be quite comfortable. Again, if you drink or smoke, you know, you're throwing around cash. Basically, if you're throwing around cash like a good time Charlie, then you're going to need a whole lot more. Anyway, I hope this video helps. I hope it confirms what you've heard or what you believe. No matter what, just figure it out. You'll find a way. If you just get close to some of these numbers, you'll find a way. So that's all I got. Please click share. Please click like. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di lat jerken mai.